Hello everyone, this is MJ and you are at my channel called Reading This Life. My channel is where we talk fiction, friends, and fun. Today, let's talk about all the things that I read for horror mayhem. And if you know me, I'm going to keep reading horror all year round. Stay tuned. All right, I hope you had a fantastic reading month in May. May was very whirlwind for me today. I had a lot of things going on in my personal life, my work life, my artistic life, and my reading. Didn't have as much time as I wanted with that, but I did make time for some wonderful books, and I'm going to share what I read with you, okay? So I have my Goodreads up. It has not been updated. Don't freak out. If people wondering what's going on with MJ, she's not putting out videos, she's not updating her Goodreads, that's fine. That means I'm living my life, baby. All right? There's a whole world out there outside of this thing. All right. So, unfortunately, to report as a mood reader, there were quite a few things that I started and put down simply because they weren't grabbing me. They weren't holding me. I wasn't having a good time. They're not hard DNFs, but they're halfway DNFs. Is that a thing? Like, I'm going to put it down, but I'm probably going to pick it up at some point when I'm in the mood for it. Does that make sense? Okay. That's where I'm at. So let's go through all the stuff that I read first. All right. Let's see. Okay. So the first actual thing that I read was The Ghost in the Zoot Suit. This is by V. Castro. It's a very short story, but a really good story. She made it available on Amazon or Kindle. It was available for Kindle. I think it was available for a free download. And it tied in with the Met Gala, okay? The Met Gala theme this year was a fashion dandy. And if you don't know what a fashion dandy is, just go and Google it. But I thought the outfits that showed up were just next level. I had a bunch of favorites. I love watching fashion. I look forward to watching the Met Gala fashion every year. I know it's ridiculous. I know the price of the tickets. I know all of that. But the art, I love the artistry of the fashion and just bringing an idea, manifesting it to life. I'm here for that. I subscribe to Vogue. Do you know what I mean? So come on, cut me a break. I have all purses over here. All right. So Ghost in the Zoot Suit was really, really good. V describes it as pretty in pink, but with a little bit of, a little bit of supernatural. And that's exactly what it was. And I gave that 5 stars. Then I went into The Black Cat, which is a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. Now, I'm pretty sure when I was in high school, I read The Black Cat. I remember in high school being extremely disturbed with the graphic nature of what happened to the cat. If you don't know, Google it, trigger warnings, it's not nice, okay? But the cat comes back for revenge. Spoiler alert, it does. But for back then, that was really violent, disturbing. And I think the story first came out in like the Saturday Evening Post or something like that. It's just, for something like that to be in such a popular magazine then, if we did that now, what would the reaction be? Ooh, it would not be good. It would not be good at all. So just think about that, the juxtaposition of, the story and the times and all of that. Very interesting to think about. 5 stars, Edgar Allan Poe. Love him, love it, love all of it. All right. Then I got into some meat and potatoes of Garb August. Steve Stredd, Father of Lies, the complete series. Okay. So I have read all 3 books in The Father of Lies. And I've also read, I actually read it first last year, gosh, what is it called? Everything under the sky full of stars. Hold on. I gotta find it. When I look at the sky, all I see are stars. Okay, so that kind of is that would be the fourth novella of the series because it's tied together. Let me tell you, okay, I interviewed Steve Strad last year. I'll put a card here so you could check it out. He went in the dark web. He went into this cult that were doing these practices and had these philosophies and did these things in order to reach the next dimension. Okay. These books are loosely based on real people and real events. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It's when we're talking horror, okay, because we're talking about demons from another dimension that want to do things to us and cause us pain. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for someone that is just getting into horror. This is dark, it's black, it's heavy. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of torture, there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of rituals. There's just a lot of darkness. So if you are a God-fearing person, if you go to church, if you do any of that, do not read these books. Do not read these books. Do not read these books, okay? They will, when I finished the entire trilogy, I sat with it and I was like, oh dear God. Like there's people out there that believe this, you know, that honestly believe this. And I'm not saying they're wrong because I don't know what lies beyond what we can see. But I'm just saying if that shit's true, whoa. Okay. So the entire series, it's a book of 3. Well, it's a book of 3. And then when I look at the sky, all I see are stars. That's the 4th that I read last year. That doesn't count. So the complete series I read and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Just disturbingly powerful. I'll leave it at that. Disturbingly powerful with people and the lengths they will go to achieve some type of supremacy. Okay. I'll leave it there. But yeah, Steve went into this online cult on the dark web and was there for, I think, over a year. And they let him be an observer. And I don't know what he participated in or not. He talks about it at the end of the book. There's kind of like a little thing describing his experience and everything. And I can't quite recall exactly what he said, what the length is that he did, but he was in there for over a year and, you know, learning the thoughts, the beliefs, the philosophy of this cult. Whew, baby. We're talking demons, man. All right. Then I read Woodworm. Do I have it? I know I have it here. I think I have it here. No, I don't. I have it over here. Woodworm. Woodworm, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. Okay. It was a translated book. This is by Leila Martinez. It had a very interesting concept. It held my attention, and then we kind of went off in a little bit of a tangent. We're talking a family dynamic. We're talking generational trauma. There is quite a lot going on in that book. And at times it just fell flat for me. Okay. So it's just not my cup of tea. And that's okay. Not every book is meant for every reader. And this one was not meant for me. So Woodworm by Leila Martinez, translated by Sophie Hughes and Annie McDermott. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which is still, I mean, that's 3 out of 5 stars is still good rating. Then I read The Big Daddy. So I've never read Frankenstein before. And I don't know why it took me so long to get to it. I'm positive we did not read it in high school. and I read the 1818 text by Mary Shelley. The fact that Mary Shelley wrote this when she was age 19, first of all, blows my entire brain out of its skull. Like, everything about this book was beautiful. The language, the words chosen, the sentiment behind it. It's so intricate, it's delicate. I don't know. I can't put into words how beautiful this book is and how wonderfully it's written. I'm going to say that I kept thinking of the only thing I wrote for my review was mind blown. Themes of inclusion, themes of belonging, themes of family, themes of just wanting to be loved, you know, and sometimes the violence that is attached to that in this story. Very, very deep. There's some very deep concepts in here. And this is a book, I told myself when I was reading it, I said, I'm revisiting this. Maybe not next year, but maybe the year after. But absolutely, Frankenstein is going to be a reread for me. It was that good. It was that good. Like, I have nothing else to say. If you've never read Frankenstein, you need to read it. You need to read it, you know? It's just so good. It's just so good. All right. Then I finished The Eyes Are the Best Part. If you missed it, I'll put a review here so you can check that out. Freaking love that book. I love that book. It started slow hill climb, huge buildup. And then we got to the good stuff, and the good stuff went off the rails. It went off the train tracks really fast, and I was just about able to hang on. 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars because of the slow buildup and not really much happening. This is by Monica Kim. This is a debut novel. I'm not going to say anything because I said it all in my review. This was a buddy read that I did, and I loved it way more than my partner did. He just didn't quite get it, I guess, but I got it. That's for sure. So Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim, 4 out of 5 stars. If you have not read it and you're into not so much a tippy-toe type of horror, but a little bit more, you're ready for a little bit more, it's a good one. It's a good one. We're talking unhinged characters. We're talking misogynists getting what they deserve. Just cultural themes and dark humor. There is dark humor in this book that some people just miss. And if you get it, and you love it. And if you don't, it just goes, and you're not having a good experience. Sorry. So yeah. So that was all of the books that I read in May. I want to say March, but no, it's May. And now let's get to what I did not finish. Just because it didn't thrill me, man. Let's see. Like I said, my Goodreads is not updated. I did finish, and I didn't log it. The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Kist. Very interesting concept. Do I have it? I have it here. Let me grab it. Okay, so this is The Haunting of Velkwood. This actually is up for a Bram Stoker Award this year. I think it may be for debut novel. Rachel Harrison says one of the most original ghost stories you will ever read. I have to agree. This was like nothing I've ever read before. It's not so much there's a ghost story. The ghost story revolves around the town of Velkwood, and there's a cluster of homes. There's 3 characters that are the main plot points in the book. We have failed relationships, we have second chances, we have interdimensional. I don't know if you want to call it interdimensional, but there are ways that people are communicating with deceased loved ones. There's an investigation. Someone comes back to town. I'm going to say, in short, this is one of the most original ghost stories I've ever read. There's a lot of personal drama in here. There's a lot of relationship drama. The ghost piece is interesting, but it stays with you, okay? There's absolutely some trauma in here that we're dealing with, and it's just good. It's just good. Try something different. It's interesting. It's not your regular ghost story. This one I finished and I forgot to log it, which is so me. All right, and then, oh, When Darkness Loves Us. I read When Darkness Loves Us. That's the first story in the book. Let me get it. Okay. This is When Darkness Loves Us. There's 2 stories in this book. Okay. So the first, I don't know if these stories are considered to be one. I'm thinking they are, but I'm not 100% sure. But When Darkness Loves Us is this part. And then the second is Beauty Is, and that's this chunk. Loved When Darkness Loved Us, fell off the wagon for Beauty Is. When Darkness Loves Us takes place in complete darkness. Complete darkness. And it's trippy, and it's interesting, and it's different. Absolutely different. Finished it, loved it, and then we rolled into Beauty Is, chapter 1. And it just didn't stay with me. It didn't jive with me. I fell out of it, and I'm like, done. So I'm assuming that counts as a novella. And then the biggest disappointment for me. I've never read Christopher Pike before, and it was Christopher Pike Witch. I started it, and I got to about maybe chapter 8. Maybe chapter 8. The writing bothered me. The misogyny bothered me. The language, just the attitudes. I fell out. I'm sure it ramped up. I'm sure it got better. I fell out of it, and I'm like, I'm reaching for something else. That's it. That's it. So it's not a DNF, but it's a soft DNF, if that makes sense. And then, oh, the last thing that I read, let me get it. Okay, so the last thing that I read partially is Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zheng. And this is by Kylie Lee Baker. This is a book that takes place during COVID and what one individual experiences. I think I'm about 25%, and I put it down one day and I just didn't pick it back up. And I know I have to. Someone told me it's like a 5-star book for them. And I'm like, damn, I got to get back into it. I just didn't feel like it. So today is June 6th. So for June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I didn't touch a book. I kind of got into a slump after this one. And I finally pulled myself out, and you'll hear all about that book. But yeah, it wasn't the best book for me. I hit some more short stories I didn't talk about. This book in here, this was really good. I hit, let's see, Robert Bloch. Lucy Comes to Stay by Robert Bloch. That was really good. That was very short. And I didn't log it because you can't, it's a short story, man. I can't log everything on Goodreads. So all in all, it was a great month. Horror Mayhem is absolutely one of my favorite months. The co-hosts are amazing. I'm sure you saw all their videos. It's bittersweet for me because I like to read horror all month long. So this doesn't end my journey because it's one of my absolute favorite genres to read. And when I was a kid and I started reading horror and I put it down because so many people weren't accepting of it and didn't understand it. And I felt like I had to read you know, stuff what that was on the New York Times and what everyone else was reading. I thought like I had to conform. And when I came back to booktube, it was absolutely freeing. It's absolutely freeing to be able to read what you want and not be judged for it. And if you judge me for what I read, unsubscribe, please. Please do yourself a favor and unsubscribe. I would rather you not be here, okay? So yeah, so that was my May. My June, rocky, but now it's starting to take off. That's a little pun there, but we'll get to that book. All right, I'm done yapping. I hope you're all doing well. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of others, and I'll see you in my next video, whether that be sooner or later. So until next time, everyone, goodbye for now, and happy reading.